What if your own husband ordered your head cut off? The brutal execution of Anne Boleyn. Imagine this. It's May 19th, 1536, early morning at the Tower of London. The sun is just rising. A young woman, dressed in a simple gray gown, steps out of her prison cell. She is calm, almost too calm. Thousands of people have gathered outside to watch her die. Her name is Anne Boleyn, and today, her own husband, King Henry VIII of England, has ordered her head to be chopped off with a sword. What if I tell you that this same woman gave birth to one of the greatest queens England ever had, Elizabeth I? The crazy part? Henry didn't just kill her, he destroyed her name, called her a witch, a whore, and a traitor. Also, he could marry another woman. Welcome to Dark History Files. Today we are going deep into one of the most shocking royal executions in history, the day Henry VIII executed Anne Boleyn, mother of Elizabeth I. Stick around till the end because the story gets even darker than you think. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another dark story from the past. Let's go back a few years before the execution. Henry VIII was already married to Catherine of Aragon for over 20 years. But he had a big problem. Catherine could not give him a son. All they had was a daughter, Mary. Henry was desperate for a male heir to keep the Tudor dynasty alive. Then he met Anne Boleyn, and was beautiful, smart, bold, and different from most women at court. She refused to become Henry's mistress like her sister had done. She wanted to be queen, and Henry fell madly in love with her. For 7 long years, Henry fought the Pope and the entire Catholic Church just so he could divorce Catherine and marry Anne. In 1533, he finally did it. He broke away from Rome, created the Church of England, and made Anne his queen. The whole kingdom was shocked, but the happiness did not last long, and gave birth to a healthy baby girl in September 1533. They named her Elizabeth. Henry was disappointed. He wanted a son. Still, he celebrated and hoped the next child would be a boy. But things started going wrong very fast, and had 2 more pregnancies. Both ended in miscarriage. The last one was a baby boy that died inside her. Henry became furious. He started believing that God was punishing him for marrying Anne. Whispers began at court. People said and used witchcraft to trap the king. They said she had extra fingers and a 3rd breast. All lies, but the rumors spread like wildfire. Henry's eyes now turned to another woman at court, Jane Seymour. She was quiet, gentle, and everything Anne was not. Henry wanted Jane as his new queen, so he needed to get rid of Anne. On May 2nd, 1536, Anne was suddenly arrested and taken to the Tower of London. They accused her of treason, adultery, and even plotting to kill the king. The charges were ridiculous. Some said she slept with her own brother George Boleyn. Others said she slept with 5 different men, including musicians and servants. Most historians today believe none of it was true. It was all made up so Henry could divorce her and marry Jane, and defended herself bravely. During her trial, she spoke with courage and intelligence. But the court was already decided. She was found guilty. On May 17th, her marriage to Henry was declared invalid, meaning their daughter Elizabeth was now called illegitimate. 2 days later, on May 19th, Anne woke up knowing it was her last day on earth. She refused to eat much. She prayed. She even joked with the guards, saying the executioner was very skilled with the sword and she had a little neck. At 8 o'clock in the morning, she walked to the scaffold wearing a gray dress and a black cloak. Thousands watched in silence, and gave a short speech. She did not attack Henry. Instead, she said, "I am come hither to die, according to the law. I pray God save the king, and send him long to reign over you. For a gentler nor a more merciful prince was there never." Then she removed her headdress, knelt down, and prayed. The executioner raised the sword, and in one clean strike, it was over. Her head was held up to the crowd. The spectators screamed and cried. Many could not believe what they had just seen. Anne Boleyn, the woman who changed the religion of England, the mother of the future Queen Elizabeth I, was dead at just 35 years old. But the story does not end there. Henry married Jane Seymour just 11 days after Anne's execution. Jane finally gave him the son he wanted, Edward VI. But Jane died shortly after giving birth. Henry went on to marry 3 more times. What happened to Anne's daughter Elizabeth? She grew up knowing her mother was executed by her own father. People called her the bastard. She was sent away from court and lived in fear most of her childhood. Yet Elizabeth survived. In 1558, she became Queen Elizabeth I, one of the most powerful and successful monarchs in English history. She ruled for 44 years, defeated the Spanish Armada, brought peace and prosperity, and never married. Maybe because she saw what marriage did to her mother. Many historians believe Elizabeth carried the memory of her mother's brutal death all her life. Some say that's why she never trusted men enough to marry. Now, the darkest part most people don't talk about. Henry VIII later regretted killing Anne. In his final years, when he was old, fat, and sick, he sometimes spoke about her with sadness. He even told people that Anne was the only woman he truly loved. But it was too late. The damage was done. Anne Boleyn's body was buried in an unmarked grave inside the Tower of London. For many years, nobody knew exactly where she lay. It was only in the 19th century that they found her remains and gave her a proper marker. Today, if you visit the Tower of London, you can still see the spot where she was executed. Thousands of people go there every year to remember the queen who lost her head because her husband wanted a son. So what do you think? Was Anne Boleyn really guilty of all those terrible crimes? Or was she simply in the wrong place at the wrong time? A smart, ambitious woman trapped in a cruel game of power? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this dark story from history, please subscribe to Dark History Files and turn on the notification bell. We drop new videos every week. Stories that schools don't teach you, but you need to hear. Share this video with someone who loves history. Drop a like if you want more Tudor stories. Thank you for watching. See you in the next dark chapter.